Hey y'all, it's Jessica at Pretty Prints and Paper, and today I'm doing a quick update for you. A long time ago, I posted a little bit about how I do financial tracking in my bullet journal. I do a combination of things, but I wanted to give you an update to show you what I am currently doing, and maybe it'll give you some ideas for how you want to do it as well. I am using a Leuchtturm 1917 A5 dot grid notebook, one of my faves, and inside I have this spread. Now, to be honest, I also use Google spreadsheets and a mixture of online apps to do some of my budgeting, but if you're doing it on paper, this might be helpful for you. There's just so many things that change over time that I kind of like the updating ability of using spreadsheets. But when you go to budget, this is what's worked well for me. I've used a whole lot of different systems and like different categories and things like that that have been not as helpful. But this is what I do. I just have all of my income in the top and then break down all of my expenses that happen every single month, from rent to my electricity and my gym membership that I pay for every single month. So things that are basically on auto pay. And then there's things that I have to get every single month, like gas and groceries. And I use some of my past credit card data to see about how much a month I'm spending there and then set an amount that I think is appropriate. I obviously haven't put any of my real numbers on there because y'all don't need to see that. But here's the tricky one, is that I also have a line item to help pay myself called savings goals. This is where I have to stop for a second and go to this page in order to see how much this is. I'm doing it for every single month, and so I need to figure out how much I'm saving for my goals every single month. At first, I have to figure out what those goals are. So I take a moment and think about what it is that I'm saving for. What are the things that you are working towards? And one of the first things that I recommend being on there, I usually don't tell people what to do, but this is an important one, is an emergency fund. And, you know, Susie Orman and When Times Are Tough Economically, shooting for 6 months of your expenses. From there is what you're going to aim for a good cushion for an emergency fund, if you are able to do so. And not everybody is able to do so. But that is a general rule of thumb. 3 months or 4 months is also fine, especially if you have children. I don't, so that is my situation. That might be unique. There's also retirement. If you're able to save for retirement, whether it's an IRA or a Roth IRA, see how much you want to put into that every single month. Maybe your employer matches you, and so you at least want to max out that match so that you're getting the most from your company in terms of benefits. That usually comes out of your paycheck before taxes even come out, which is one benefit to that. And then if you want to do a Roth IRA, that is after taxes, which means that later on when you retire and you pull that money out, you don't have to pay taxes on it again. So assuming that maybe you're younger and you have, you're probably going to be in a higher tax bracket later, this might be helpful for you to do a Roth IRA every month. What I like to also do is spend money on other people, whether that's gifts or taking people out to dinner, or I buy them coffee or something. So part of that monthly savings is going to be for spending on other people. That also might roll into things like Christmas or other big holidays that you have, like Chinese New Year is a big one for me. So having money put away to give out money for Chinese New Year is also probably a line item for me that I can add. Travel fund, I really like to travel. And so whether that's a couple domestic trips a year, one international trip, every other year, I would love to continue seeing the world and experiencing other cultures. So I'm adding that as one of my big buckets. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do in terms of like moving or where I'm going to live or house or things like that. So that is just another category that I know I should just put money away for if I can. And then something more concrete that I have, in May or June of this year is visiting some friends in Ohio where I've been meaning to go to for a while. Adding all that together, figuring out how much it is that I want to save every month, dividing this amongst the next couple months to make sure that I have $500 saved up for that, adding that all together to get the line item for savings goals. You might have to tweak it depending on how much money you're able to make or save after all these expenses. You don't want to get that too off balance if you have the ability to save that much money. And then if you take this and then subtract all of these numbers, you get what is left over. So after you have paid for all your fixed expenses and saved, put money away for your own savings, you get your discretionary fund. This is where I used to like split it up in the past with like, oh, I'm only going to spend this much money eating out a month, or this much money on clothing, or this much money on household items that I get at Target. It got really complicated really fast, and there's just so much ebb and flow every single month that differs that it just got too cumbersome to split it out into so many categories. And so I like to just have the number and I just subtract it from there throughout the month. I know if my target is this, then I can just, whatever I spend it on, I spend it, but I only have that much money, or I'm shooting for only spending that much money every month on whatever it is outside of my fixed expenses. Quick note, these hexagons, which I love, are these clear, well, once upon a time were clear, stamps that I got from Foxy Fix. I hope they still have them, but they have awesome, really simple and functional clear stamps. I adhered it to one of these acrylic blocks, which is cool because then I can see where I'm stamping. I just used this ink pad from Michael's when they had that line out, and all I did was make sure that this bottom wasn't in the ink to get a little bit of a space there for me to write in some time frames and monthlies, stuff like that. Love these. Haven't been able to use them for a while, but so once I calculate those things and I get my discretionary income or discretionary budget for the month, then I know what I'm shooting for. And sometimes I do a visual tracker every month in my bullet journal, or what I have been recently doing in my passion planner, and in my old bullet journals. I will have a line in my planner each week that has room for me to write down my expenses. So I go in and I will just jot down, oh, what did I spend on blank? And just keep track of that on a daily basis. I used to have an expense tracker that was not in my weekly tracker, which means I never did it. So this has been really important for me to see this every single day and then put in my expenses. And then at the end of the month, going back through and seeing where my money went to and readjusting numbers if I have to, and taking stock of where I'm at, and hopefully still making progress on some of my financial goals. So there you have it. That has what has worked for me. I know that other people have different ways of managing their finances. What's worked for you? I would love some of your tips because I'm kind of an impulsive shopper sometimes. Like last night I ordered like these 3 books by this amazing author and poet. I was like, oh, I saw that on Amazon and I bought it. So any tips on any of that would be really awesome in the comments below. But if you like it, share it, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, whatever. I just hope that you enjoy it. Thanks. I'll see you guys next time.